Merry Christmas, common fans. Don't worry, we recorded this several days before Christmas so we could be focused on our families and feasts on the big day. But we thought it would be fun to do a Christmas episode for any common fans out there who might be hankering for just a little more of the Common Fan podcast in 2023, which we know so many people are. Seriously, though, we are so thankful for all of you who have listened this year and so excited to bring you much more in 2024. This will be the last episode of the year to close out 2023. We will be back with our regular cadence in January. So, our goal is to bring you 1 to 2 episodes per week during the entire off season. So, we don't intend to slow down. We don't intend to alter. I mean, really, the goal is 2 episodes a week. Some weeks, depending on schedules and guests and things like that, it may end up being only one. But we're not going anywhere. And we already have some very exciting guests lined up for the new year. So we're excited about all of that. But first, it's Christmas. Merry Christmas, boys.
Merry
Merry
Christmas,
Christmas, Steve.
guys.
Yuletide.
We look great.
Yo.
Common fans, you should subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you should watch
Yes.
this episode on YouTube. Geoff is in a Christmas sweater. I am wearing a Nebraska specific short sleeved Christmas sweater
great.
polo.
And looking pretty ripped, T.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not.
In the weight
I'm
room.
definitely not. Thank you though.
Damn.
What's ripped is this section right
Oh,
here.
that's just all beefcake.
Yeah.
The belly. The belly has expanded quite a bit this Christmas season. And then Matty O is in some sort of like used car salesman jumpsuit, tracksuit. Kind of look like Ben Stiller and his boys in the Royal Tenenbaums, if that's the look you're
Yeah.
going for, perhaps.
Yeah.
And a Santa hat. So we're all festive. We're all decked out for the season. I love Christmas so much, guys. I don't know about you guys. Christmas is just the best time of year. And we've got a lot to cover today. For those of you common fans looking for our usual, that's a great treat.
Okay, we love it, Jeff.
Yeah.
It looks great,
Did
Jeff.
you notice the pictures? I've
Yeah,
got some-
Buzz's girlfriend,
Buzz's
Wolf.
girlfriend. Yeah.
Oh,
Is
I
that
do see
Fuller?
I do see
Go easy on the
wet-
Pepsi.
Yeah,
the
we
wet
got
bandits. The wet
yeah,
bandits.
little
Yeah.
Nero's Pizza over here. We got a lot of good
Nice.
decorations
Love it.
going on here.
Nice.
Little
What
Home
are-
Alone.
Yeah.
What do you call that? I don't know. I lost it. I lost the term.
Team?
What are you? 12?
Theme. So yeah, I'm not sanctuary. I don't know. Forget it. Let's move on.
Oh, homage.
Homage.
yeah.
Homage.
Anyway. But we got a little bit of Husker flavor in one of our topics here. It's mostly just holiday and Christmas focused. But we want to do something fun. We had so much fun doing the Thanksgiving episode, talking about Thanksgiving meals and sort of other things related to the season. So we thought we'd do a Christmas episode. My hope is that most, or my expectation too, I don't think most common fans will probably listen to this on Christmas Day.
No.
When they maybe see that there's
Better.
a new episode. But my hope is that
You never know.
that week between Christmas and New Year's, hopefully maybe every common fan, you get a lot of good time with the family, good time with the kids, but maybe you get a little time for yourself. You're going out for a drive, you're running some errands, maybe going to the gym a few times, whatever it might be. Maybe you're saying, hey, I'd love a little more common fan podcast. I'd love to check it out. And maybe folks will listen to this Christmas episode during the holiday season. That's the hope. Then come January, we power into 2024. We sprint right into August, and then we go ahead and the Huskers win the national championship in 2024. I think that's kind of the expectation for everyone.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
100%.
So similar to, if you listen to our year-end recap, we've done something similar here where we agreed upon various subject matter topic areas, whatever you want to call them, but we have not shared our answers with each other. So I'm really excited to hear what you guys came up with and to have any sort of discussion and debate around these. So we're going to dive right in, boys. We're going to start off with something. It's standard. It's blocking and tackling, but I think it's also a lot of fun. Top 5 Christmas movies. So how I'd like to do this, guys, I think we each list our 5, then we each list our 4, then we, and so on and so on. So we don't just each list our top 5. We trade off. What was that, Matt? What was that?
What did I do? Did I do something?
It felt like kind of like well, okay, maybe.
Well,
But
I know I was looking at my list and I didn't really, I have definitely my number one.
okay,
But then it
okay.
was just kind of in no particular order, but I'll just go off, bottom to, top to bottom.
You know in your heart.
Yeah.
You know in your heart. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's go number 5. Starting off, this is top 5 Christmas movies. Jeffrey, why don't you start us off?
Top 5. I didn't have mine numbered either, so if I
Son
had
of
to
a
choose one,
bitch, guys.
he's throwing us curveballs here. It's all
It's not
improvised. Don't worry, I'll take care of it.
I said top 5. Who doesn't make a list 1 through 5? That's what you do.
I
All
mean,
right.
yeah.
All right, I'm sorry. I didn't specify. Go ahead, Jeffrey.
So if I had to put one that was number 5, I feel like this one gets swept or just goes under the radar and doesn't get the love it deserves. But Bill Murray in Scrooged, I think, is a really, really
Scrooge,
good
great pull.
holiday classic.
Great
That
pull.
I mean, you've got Bill Murray in his prime, like late 80s, early 90s Bill Murray, still young, dapper. Uh, Bobcat Goldthwait is in that. I don't know if you
Yeah.
folks are familiar with him. He plays a really funny role in that movie. And then it's just for those of you that maybe haven't seen it, it's just basically a Christmas Carol, but for that time, a modern, more twist on it,
Yeah.
where Bill Murray is basically Ebenezer Scrooge, and he runs, I think, almost like a big time television
Yeah.
station, like almost similar to like an ABC or CBS, and he's just a worthless asshole, just a
Yeah.
jerk.
But he used
And
to be a good guy.
yeah,
Let's
yeah,
we'll tag
yeah,
team this one, Jeff,
exactly.
because I
Yep.
had Scrooge too.
You did okay,
Yeah.
good.
So we'll go this. Yeah, great. I mean, just a great one. I mean, you can't go wrong with Bill Murray
Mhm.
in anything. And
Right.
to basically be the Ebenezer Scrooge role, fantastic. And the and I can't remember the actress's name from Raiders of the Lost Ark, and
I
she's the
can't
mom in
remember her name
Sandlot.
either. Yep.
Cute gal,
Joan Allen. Joan Allen.
Is that who that is? Is that her name? I don't even know
Karen
her.
Allen.
Karen Allen.
There we
Karen
go.
Allen. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, as his
She's
love
good in it
interest.
too. Yep.
Yeah, it's just it's a good feel good one. It's got some good funny moments.
I love the ending too,
That's
just like how they do the
Sing along.
the sing along thing. Like they even it's good show. I love that stuff.
Put a little love in your heart.
That's a great poll, guys. I did not have that one on my list. So for number 5 for me, and this one's a little bit more of a tip of the hat to my children who love this one. It's a newer one. You can find it on Netflix. Have you guys watched Christmas Chronicles?
Oh yeah,
I have not.
yeah,
It's
that's
a
good.
lot of fun. So Kurt Russell is Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
It's kind of this this family. The younger sister is a true believer in Santa. She's a sweetheart. The older brother's kind of going down the wrong path. He's making wrong choices. He's boosting cars in the parking lot with his buddy. And then they end up, mom's got to work on Christmas Eve. And so they end up together on Christmas Eve. And then, they encounter Santa Claus and they have this big adventure with Santa Claus. And then there's also like this fun cameo at the end with, Kurt Russell's Mrs. Claus, who, everyone can probably guess. But anyway, super fun movie. Check it out on Netflix, Christmas Chronicles. I'm going to jump right into number 4. For me, some people might think this is Home Alone. Matteo, I was trying to remember we might have gone to this together at 8 years old. I'm not totally sure. I'm going to say Home Alone for me is number 4.
Yes, it's
on my
very
list, too.
possible that we did see it together.
Well, with a bigger group, I feel like, but
Yeah.
I feel like we went to this together. I don't do math very well. Over 30 years ago.
Yeah, because I don't know what year that came out, but if it was early 90s, there's a real solid chance that
I think it came
happened.
out in like 89. I'm pretty sure 2 was like 1992, I think. Because we actually
And I'm curious for me, I mean, the original for me still takes the cake.
Yeah, I agree.
Home Alone 2 is entertaining. My kids probably prefer 2 a little bit more, but for me, the original
one's the best.
Like I'll still like bust a gut laughing watching Home Alone. Now,
Yeah, oh sure.
41 years old.
Yeah, and it made my top 5 too. It's just and the music and the cast is fantastic too. I mean,
yes.
Is it Catherine O'Hara? Is more recently fantastic in Schitt's Creek.
The woman from Schitt's Creek, exactly.
Yeah,
she is incredible, and in all the Christopher Guest movies, Best in Show and all that, she's great in Beetlejuice. She's fantastic. Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern, great.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's just
even like
fantastic.
the cop eating the donut, that character actor that's in like 1,000 movies, you know?
We got a cameo from him for Ashley's sister for her birthday one year. So
Oh my
that
God.
guy,
That's
and
Oh,
he did,
incredible.
yeah.
and he gets, I think his number one request, I think, is it's definitely not Home Alone. It's a different movie. I'm trying, it escapes me right now, but it's this. He gets the same request for the same cameo references, and we were the only ones that had him do the line from Home Alone where he's talking about like hyper on line 2, Rose, and like he did that. Actually, it was awesome. Seemed like a really down to earth guy too. He seemed really cool.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. All right, Matty-O, we'll flip it to you. What do you got for your number 3?
Um, this is one that's become a favorite more in more recent years. Same kind of thing. Unbelievable cast. Family dynamics in it are just fantastic. Family Stone,
Oof.
for me
Oof.
is incredible. I
Don't get
mean,
me.
you get laughs in it, you get the tearjerker moments. I'm a huge fan of this. I mean, Craig T. Nelson, Diane Keaton. I mean,
Yeah.
and their kids are like
Luke
Luke
Wilson, Rachel
Wilson.
McAdams, right?
Yep.
Yes, Luke Wilson's fantastic in it. Rachel McAdams is just a sweetheart and a total babe. Um, and then it's
Dermot
what's the sex
Mulroney.
in this? Dermot Mulroney and Sarah
Yeah.
Jessica Parker.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's if you haven't seen it, common fans, do yourself a favor. I
Oh,
mean,
it's
it's
great.
fantastic. If you like your Christmas movies a little bit more of a sentimental,
It's heavy.
with
It's
some
heavier. It's
laughs.
heavier. It's heavier
It can
too.
get heavier.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm into that. The Christmas time, it's like, time for me that I want to be absolutely thankful for all the people that I have in my life and how blessed we are. Family Stone is absolutely great.
I'll be the first to admit, first time I saw it, I did cry. I cried.
I cry
I
every
shed
time.
tears during the movie. Damn it.
There's some at least
Not
misty
afraid to admit it.
eyes.
Love that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Wasn't on my list. I really like it. It's really well done. Um, maybe I'm a sad. It's a little too heavy for me, I guess. Sometimes. Matty-O, not. We don't have to go. We'll just talk about this later. But you compare on the Thanksgiving episode. You brought up Home for the Holidays.
Yes.
You compared it to Family Stone. So I watched that for the first time. I got to be honest. I'm not sold on Home for the Holidays. Family Stone is much better than Home
Was
for the
take it easy.
It
Holidays.
is. It is. I will fully
Um,
agree. It's just with
but
the
it was. I laughed out loud a few times, and it's heartfelt and compelling, and all those
in
things.
defense of Home for the Holidays, there aren't that many Thanksgiving movies. So that's kind of
That's
part
that's
of it
fair.
is
Excellent point.
is
Excellent
you know
point.
what? You want to watch a
Yeah.
Thanksgiving movie, there's not a lot to choose from.
Yeah. All right, Jeffrey, what'd you have for number 3?
Well, I mean, some of these are, God, they're close.
You can only
Um,
have 5, Jeff. So there's only 3 left. So pick one of them for number 3.
All right, Christmas Story. I'll go with Christmas Story there.
Boom. That's
Yeah.
my number 3 too. That's
Is
perfect.
it?
That's my number 3
And
as
there's a
well.
reason
Yeah.
that they do 24 hours of it on TNT and TBS.
Do they
because
still do
everybody-
that? Do they still do
Yeah,
that?
absolutely. Like
Okay.
I think maybe that's why I like that movie so much is when I was younger, like my parents would watch it and like I enjoyed it, like the Scott Farkas and the Red Ryder BB gun. That stuff was all fun and great. But what I really like it as an adult now is it's just awesome background noise that is just constantly on
It
24/7
really
in our house.
is.
So it's just on all the time. I don't have to search television to find something to watch. I just can, it's easy on me. I can confidently just say, well, I can just have Christmas Story in the background on
Yeah.
all Christmas Eve and pretty much all of Christmas Day.
For me though, that's cheapened it a little bit. I think
Yeah.
that it's
I got
on
you.
constantly. It didn't make my top 5, guys.
Interesting.
I like it. But and this could be a hot take. I feel like Christmas Story is just a tad overrated.
A lot.
No, I
If
think
I had
that's-
if I had an honorable mention category, it is in there because it
Mhm.
is like you have to have it on at some point. You're like, oh,
Right.
Christmas Story's on. Let's just put it on. It's
Yeah.
it's good background, right?
Well, I think
But
there's also
there are good parts. I like it, but it's not in my top 5.
it's interesting you say that. I think there's an element of nostalgia
Mhm.
for our age group that
For
grew up.
sure.
It was we all grew up watching it. I was
Uh-huh.
thinking about this when I was making my list. I think my kids would be bored by it or not interested
Yeah,
in it.
mine have no
Right.
care. They don't care about it at
Yeah.
all.
And so I think there's
Yeah.
an element of nostalgia there.
That's a
too,
good
but
point.
it's on my list. It sort of felt like I couldn't make a list without it,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
I get
But
that.
it's actually not like there's certain movies I have to watch during Christmas season, and that's not one of them. I will say that.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
I know people that don't like it too, though. Like my sister-in-law hates Christmas Story. Like that's one of her flaming hot takes is she hates Christmas Story and she hates Billy Crystal for some reason too. I don't know why. That's for another podcast.
We
But
should come
Billy
back to that. I
Crystal.
don't.
yeah,
Billy Crystal.
I could.
those
It's
are the two things
interesting.
she dies on.
Billy Crystal is
Billy
not someone you
Crystal
think of as
and Christmas
inspiring a lot of
Story.
hate, but whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
she can't stand him. Anyways.
All right, guys. Number 2, I'll go ahead and take this one. For me is Elf.
Really?
Yeah,
Nice.
and let me say about Elf. When it first came out in about 2000, about 20 years ago or so.
Yeah.
I went to it. I laughed. But I for me, it was like, I don't know if it's like, you got to be out of baseball for 5 years before you can be in the Hall of Fame kind of thing. Like for me, it was like,
Right.
we can't start to, this is not a classic. We can't, this is brand new. This is like, what is
I get
the,
it.
whatever.
Yep.
Over time, I have only begun to like it more.
Mhm.
And also, I think also like watching it now through my children's eyes and seeing how much they enjoy it probably
Yeah.
adds to the heft for me. Did either of you have Elf on your list?
I did not,
No.
and that was going to be one of the things I was going to talk about was that I don't dislike the movie, but I'm kind of with you what you were saying at first, TJ. Like because it was so new back then, I was of the same mindset. Like only these old school. I was kind of like an old man. Like only these old school movies. These are the true classics. I will not accept any of this new crap.
Yeah.
But like the Family Stone's a newer movie now, and I love that one.
Yeah.
Elf, I like it, but it didn't make my top 5. Just I don't know. My kids love it too. So we do watch it, but it's not something that I'm gonna get bent out of shape about if we don't
Right.
watch it during the Christmas season. Like
It's in my honorable mention. It's definitely one that gets some run during the Christmas season, but yeah, not my top 5, but I do enjoy it.
R.I.P. James Caan.
R.I.P. James Caan.
Sonny Corleone.
What'd you guys have for number 2?
Christmas Vacation.
Okay. All right. So that's on my list.
Huh. So you had that at number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew what TJ. I already knew. Like you knew
that's his number. It's clearly his number 1.
Well, obviously, I mean,
just ruined his number 1 in his face.
I'm just kind of curious. You think you know somebody? I'm just kind of wondering what kind of sick bastard you really are.
Yeah.
Jeff. Okay.
He's totally thrown off.
TJ's distraught right now.
I guess. Jeez. Yeah. I don't.
Woo. So.
Right, Jeff, what do you have?
I'll go. Yeah. And it used to be like a really hot take, and now I feel like it's not as much anymore. Like this opinion used to really get people riled up. Yeah. And so I'm gonna say that Die Hard is my second favorite Christmas movie.
It almost made my top 5.
Literally every year, like I love it because now my wife is into it. And so every Christmas Eve, she's like, all right, we'll do the family thing for a little bit. We'll hang out with friends, let some of the kids open some presents. And then we can do our other Christmas wrapping and watch Die Hard. Like she brings it up every year. And I'm like, yes. So every year on Christmas Eve, we have that locked and loaded and ready to go.
I love that. That's super cool.
I think it's fun. It's like our tradition. I remember people used to argue about whether or not it's actually a Christmas movie or not. I feel like that's not really, I think it's slowly gained some traction. People are kind of into it now. So that reminds me too. It's getting hot in here. I gotta take off this sweatshirt. I'm sorry.
Jeff's taking off his sweater. Really warm. All right. Well, Matt, you've lost all credibility, so I guess I'll go next for number 1. No, just kidding. Come on, I love you. I mean, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Let's talk about it.
Let's
get into it.
Is Christmas Vacation. Like
it's fantastic.
Christmas Vacation is the Christmas movie. If
he's back. He's got a shirt that says for the people just listening and not on the YouTube. Now I have a machine gun. Ho ho ho.
So that's a Die Hard reference.
Yeah,
it's a Die Hard T-shirt.
It's a little message that he sends to Hans. that John McClane sends to Hans, just to let him know what's up. He's the fly in the ointment, the monkey in the wrench,
pain in the ass.
With that long sleeve T-shirt and the sweater, Jeff, I can see it. Hot. So Jeff, I went ahead first because I can't imagine what Matt even has to say for his number
Mhm.
one. But Christmas Vacation is my number one. It's
Yep.
like if I was on a, that game, if you're on
It
a
was my
desert
number
island,
one as well.
yeah,
Just so you know.
if you're on a desert island, you can pick three movies. It honestly might be in the list of like all movies that I might pick. I'm not joking. It's the perfect Christmas movie, and I don't even love every vacation movie.
Mhm.
But like it's the it's the best vacation movie in my opinion. It's the perfect Christmas movie. There's probably
Yeah.
some nostalgia that goes with it, but
Oh
it's
yeah.
also just great. If you're seeing it for the first time, it's fantastic.
It's still funny.
It's
Yeah.
so great. I mean, Chevy Chase is brilliant. Beverly D'Angelo. Who plays Eddie? Come
Randy
on,
Quaid.
Randy
Randy Quaid.
Quaid.
Yeah.
Edward.
Um,
That it is, Edward.
And it's so
uh,
damn quotable. Like it's
yes,
just
Yeah.
yes,
there's so many
you forget like
lines in that movie.
actually we had friends in Bend who had a Christmas vacation party last weekend, and
Mhm.
I mean they had it down to the T. They had the Marty Moose mugs they had eggnog and the glasses for the mugs.
Beautiful.
Everybody dressed up as different characters. It was really fun and it
Mhm.
was awesome. But like you forget like lines will just like you forget they're in your head, but then you
Yeah.
like some line from the movie will come out because it's so great and you've seen it 1,000 times and whatever else. So um it's just fantastic. You can't do any better than Christmas Vacation. Jeff, you
It's
have
my
anything
number
to add
one.
to that?
I mean, like I said, it's just so damn quotable too. Like and obscure quotes that people would still know. Like, I mean, I could go upstairs right now to my family and be like, "Yeah, come on, let's go find your sister."
Yeah, right,
And
Yeah.
like they
right,
would know
right.
Yeah.
exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even have to like tell them what movie that's from.
Julia Louis Dreyfus, that's another one, early
Oh
in her
Yeah,
yeah.
career, pre
he's in there.
Seinfeld for her,
Yep.
Elaine,
Was
pre
it
Seinfeld.
Margot and what's it her
Todd and
Todd
Margot.
Todd.
Todd and
Yeah.
Margot? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why is
So
the
good.
carpet all wet, Todd? I don't know, Margot.
There were multiple Todds and Margos at our
Oh
Christmas
yeah.
vacation
You should
party.
get like they had the silver tracksuit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
One
Yeah.
of them had the silver tracksuit. Well, no, so they had ordered the silver tracksuit on Amazon. They didn't show up on time, so they improvised and they still went and got gray sweatsuits and made silver tracksuits out of them, which I thought was really
Oh,
Wow.
cool.
fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
And then
effort.
That's
yeah,
hardcore
absolutely.
dedication.
So what's your problem, Matt?
What's my problem? No, it's my
Yeah,
number. It means number two. I mean, it's
what's
number
your deal,
two. That's
dude?
pretty good,
What's your deal,
Uh-huh.
right?
man?
Yeah, what's your number one? What could
Yeah.
possibly be ahead of Christmas Vacation?
Only the best Christmas movie of all time. It's a Wonderful Life, guys.
I've never seen it. That was something I wanted to talk about. I've never even seen the movie.
Oh my God.
Never watched it.
You played you played the Jimmy Stewart card.
Yeah, yeah, I
You
did.
might have checkmated me.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Look, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed that it's not on my list.
I mean, and for me,
That's a great one.
as a father, even more so, becoming a father changed this list for me. Because I think, and again, I'm a sentimental Christmas guy. I cry every time I watch It's a Wonderful Life. But there's something about being a dad at Christmas time that just something in that movie really taps into it. We all us dads have moments where we're like, oh my God, this couldn't get any worse, blah, blah, blah. You're complaining about this, you're complaining about that. And that movie puts things really into perspective. It's just fantastic.
Now, well said. I'm embarrassed. I have no explanation. I'm embarrassed that it's not in my top five. I think what I would probably do is keep Christmas Vacation number one, put It's a Wonderful Life number two,
There we go.
take out Christmas Chronicles. It's great and but newer one for the kids and knock everyone else down a peg. So, great poll there. That's
And now
probably
you
like
have to watch it, Jeff.
No,
For the pod.
that's probably the only one that like I can't come up with an argument for why it should supplant Christmas Vacation. Like that's really that's a good pull. It's based on it because I will admit, like I love that movie. It's a fantastic Christmas movie. I do not sit and you always catch parts of it on TV during the
Yeah,
Christmas
like I
season.
know like some of the key lines.
Yeah, I don't make a point to sit and watch that one
No.
every Christmas season.
Oh, I do. I
And
do.
I should do that. Yeah.
Either
boring.
either the day before Christmas Eve or on Christmas Eve night, I will put it on. I think we have it on Prime. We purchased it on Prime a few years ago. And we also have the Blu-ray, which I don't even use a Blu-ray player anymore. But yeah, I have to watch it. I just have to.
Yeah.
And Jeff, it is not boring. It is not boring, Jeff.
Jeff, you need to sit and watch it from start to finish.
I'm good.
I mean, it's really, it's practically,
Oh.
Jeff, you're a big old nerd. It's practically a sci-fi movie. I mean,
What? Is that time
yeah.
travel in it?
No, well, not really time travel, but it's like, what if you never existed? And then it's showing you the whole alternate universe of what it would look like if you didn't exist.
Black and white. This move, I'm not watching it.
Well, there's a colorized version for you, you snob. You can watch whichever one you want.
You're gonna watch it, Jeff. You're gonna watch it.
The one that I like the most is that SNL skit where they do like the alternate ending.
And that makes it even funny. That skit is so funny. It makes it even better when they go to beat the shit out of old Mr. Potter. And it's fantastic.
Led by Dana Carvey. Yeah.
Yes. Boy, oh, Mr. Potter, what's wrong with you?
That's fantastic.
That was my Jimmy Stewart. That was terrible. That was terrible.
I thought that was pretty good, actually. I thought that was pretty good.
Well, thank you.
All right. Well, that wraps up the Christmas movie conversation. Jeff, just watch it. Just watch it one time. It's well worth it.
Then have you guys watched the Muppet Christmas Carol? Have you guys ever watched that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
of course.
So I wanted to put that in my top 5, but I didn't. But
okay,
if you guys would have said no to that, I would have been pissed off too. Like, that's a great movie.
No one stopped you. Moving on. Okay.
Whatever.
Top 5 Christmas songs. I want the song and the artist because like there's 417 versions of every Christmas song.
Right.
Top 5 Christmas songs with the song and the artist. I can't remember who started us off on the movie. So Matteo, why don't you start us off on the songs?
All right. I'm going, there's some traditional here and there's some kind of, I guess not necessarily modern, like these are like some of these are 30, 40 years old now. I'm going Merry Christmas Baby by Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band.
Love it.
It's fantastic. It gets me in the holiday spirit every time.
Excellent.
All right, Jeffrey, what do you got? And good choice, Matteo.
Love it. So Run DMC with I don't even know how to say it. Is it Christmas in the Hollies or what is
Christmas in Hollis, Hollis, Queens.
Yeah.
From Die Hard.
Matteo knows.
From Die Hard.
Matteo knows.
That song sets the tone for the movie, and every time I hear it, I'm like, oh, it's Christmas time, baby. Like I love that song a ton. And you just don't. There's no other real rap songs that are Christmas songs. I mean, there's been some crap they've put out there recently, but that one actually I feel like is an actual good song, whether you like to admit it or not. It gets me in the holiday spirit for sure. So that'll be my number 5 on my list.
I like that. Good one.
Very good, Jeffrey. I went with Oh Holy Night. Just kind of a staple. I love Oh Holy Night. Matt's laughing at me for some reason.
You like the little drummer boy too?
Just wait, Jeff. Just wait. I love A Holy Night. Like it kind of moves me.
Do you have an artist that you like that version?
I do. There's a lot of good versions. The one I picked is Celine Dion.
Oh, dear God.
I mean, how old is that song? When was that written? Like the 1700s or?
Does it? Oh, okay. Because was Baby Jesus out of style in the 1700s, Jeff?
No, I just really wanted you to be like when Owens asked by who, like you were gonna name some dude from like the 1700s.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say like the Mormon Tabernacle Choir or
Johann Sebastian Bach.
Yeah, right.
Salieri.
By Ludwig von Beethoven.
All right, moving on, assholes. I'll do my next one. I can see we're gonna have different lists here. Number 4 for me, which for me this is a fun. It's not. What do you call it? It's a. I can't find the word I'm looking for, but it's a holiday, so it's not a Christmas song so much as like a holiday song. Let It Snow by Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
Do you guys know the Sinatra version?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I couldn't agree more with you, TJ. I love that.
Yeah, Jeff agrees. You gotta say, Matt, you got a problem, Matt? What's your problem?
That's a great one.
Wasn't there a SNL skit where I think maybe it was Celebrity Jeopardy and they said "Letits now"? Is it Burt Reynolds or something?
Probably. Okay, secular was the word I was looking for. This is not so much a Christmas song. It's a holiday song. That's fantastic, Matt. Jeff is still laughing. All right, Geoff, what do you got for your number 4?
And correct me, you might have to correct me on the pronunciation of the name, but Feliz Navidad by
Oh,
Jose Feliciano is what I got when I didn't even know who
I
sang it
think it's
for the longest time.
Felicianes.
Feliciano. But
Feliciano.
love that song. It's quirky. It sounds cool. It's fun. It's happy. And whenever it comes on, like for some reason, my kids really like it. Like Parker thinks it's like the best song ever. And whenever I'll put like a shuffle on of Christmas music. Second that song, that kid will ignore me all day on his tablet. But the second that song comes on, he walks right into the kitchen and just stands there and stares at the Alexa. Big fan.
Yeah, it's a good one. My kids love that one too.
And I
Good
think
call, good
on.
call.
Are you guys familiar with Pee Wee's Playhouse, like the TV show? Not like his movies, but his actual TV show.
Yes.
Like they did like a Christmas special, and I remember that used to always stick with me because he would always say "Feliz Navidad" because he was talking to was it Charo? Charo was on the show.
Oh, sure.
All right, Matty, what do you got for your number 4?
Number 4, I've got "Wonderful Christmas Time" by Sir Paul McCartney.
Love it.
I know
Classic.
it's some, I don't know if Mrs. Owens really appreciates it as much as I do, but I think it's fantastic, and I love Sir Paul McCartney. So I love "Wonderful Christmas Time."
I love that song. I mean, honestly, my only complaint might be that it's overplayed, and so like you just hear it, but I absolutely love it. All right, number 3, Geoff, what do you got for number 3 on your list?
You guys are gonna hate this, but I do like Mariah Carey. I do like Mariah Carey. I think she puts out good, decent music, and everybody makes jokes about this is her time of year. But All I Want for Christmas Is You by her that just screams Christmas to me. I love it. Hate away. Go ahead. Go on. Come on. I'm ready.
There's a lot of people like that song, Jeff. I don't want to get on the bad side of it's
you got a problem
very
with Mariah
popular.
Carey? You got a problem with yourself.
Okay. Well,
I just
beg to differ.
The look on agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Matt, the look on Matt's face is just oh look, I think we gave you a hard time for that one on the Thanksgiving episode, maybe. Not my favorite, not in my top 5.
No, it's fine.
Or my top 20, but I don't love it. But I don't hate it, Jeff. That's okay. You be you. You do you.
I
Jeff.
will be me. I don't need your permission to be me, TJ.
I was trying to support you, Jeff. Okay.
Whatever.
Okay. Wait. Okay, we're on our number 3, right?
3, yeah.
Have you both gone?
I've said 2.
Okay, Matteo, what do you got?
So number 3, I've got I'm going back to Old Blue Eyes, Frank Sinatra.
Boom.
This one's called "Mistletoe and Holly." I've gotten really into this one in the last 2 or 3 years.
I don't think I know this one.
Oh by gosh, by golly. You can you almost like feel like Old Blue Eyes has a glass of scotch or something in his hand while in the recording studio while he's singing.
He was a Jack Daniels guy.
Oh, it's probably a glass of Jack on the rocks, probably.
The money's on the dresser, baby. I'm through with
Mistletoe and Holly. It's a good one.
Okay. Yeah, great. Okay, love it. I'm gonna listen to that as soon as we're done recording here. For me, this is a newer one. Are you guys familiar with the song "Hallelujah" by John Legend and Carrie Underwood?
Yeah.
Is it the old
today?
The Hallelujah that like everybody? It's
no. It's not that. No.
Not the old Leonard Cohen Hallelujah. It's okay.
I knew what you were saying, and I said it's not that.
Okay.
Damn it! Oh, it's listening.
Whoa! Take it easy.
No, it's outstanding. Check it out. Hallelujah. Carrie Underwood, John Legend.
I know what song you're talking about.
It will you'll be like standing in the kitchen, cutting onions or something, and you'll this song will come on, and the hair will stand up on the back of your neck, and you'll get emotional.
And that's a Christmas song.
Yeah, it's a Christmas song.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, it's outstanding. Check it out.
I made a note.
Excellent. Okay, we're up to number 2 on the list. Matty-O, why don't you go ahead?
Number 2, I have going a little bit further back, and this one I gotta give some props to my wonderful wife. Catherine handles like almost all the Christmas in our house, and she gets everybody going in the spirits, whether it's the decorations, the traditions, whatever it might be. Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas by Judy Garland. It just kind of gets you right in the feels. It just sounds beautiful. I picture listening to it with our whole family just sitting around, being cozy, maybe snow falling on, outside the window. And
Yeah.
it's a really good one, right in the feels.
Love
No,
that.
I agree.
I'll go ahead and go for my number 2. I went with Merry Christmas. I referenced this in the Thanksgiving episode. Merry Christmas by Ed Sheeran and Elton John. Have you guys listened to this yet?
No,
No.
have
Dude,
not.
guys, it's the most like it's fun, it's uplifting, it's fun loving. You can listen to it like it doesn't get old. I think we listen to it every day in our house. So check it out. Merry Christmas by Ed Sheeran and Elton John. It's to me, it's like the perfect combination of like fun, uplifting, um, but still like kind of the serious undertones of what the season is all about. It's perfect. It's perfect. Check it out.
Is that fairly
Love it.
new? Like how old is that?
It's like two,
Yeah.
2 or 3 years old. 2 or 3 years old.
Oh,
It's
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Jeffrey, you're number 2.
Well, you're breaking your own rule there, TJ. You shouldn't be embracing that. It's not. It's new. It can't just automatically enter the Hall of Fame just immediately
No.
right off the bat.
We can't be afraid to move our cheese, Jeff.
Well, and I feel like especially with songs are different than movies because there's a billion Christmas songs. So you just have to go with what moves you.
All right. Okay.
All right. What do you got, Jeff?
I'm a big. You're gonna find out here. I'm a big Andy Williams guy. Not gonna lie to you there. His voice. What do they say on Office Space when they're talking about Michael Bolton? What do they say? Just about.
I don't know, Jeff.
I celebrate the guy's entire catalog.
Yeah. Andy Williams for you.
I love Andy Williams, and so obviously it's the most wonderful time of the. I just feel like stand up. Like
I
if you
can't.
turn it on right now and get up out of my chair.
I
Like,
love that song.
let's go.
I can't hear that song without thinking of the Will Ferrell song. I
I have
just
that
get where
written
he's
down in my
spinning
notes.
around and then he starts vomiting just profusely.
I have that written down in my notes. I have it written right here. Will Ferrell puking.
Yeah. Every time I hear that, I get a smile on my face just thinking of that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
that's a
can't
good
stop. I can't stop laughing about. I celebrate the guy's entire catalog.
one. Andy Williams.
Oh
Love
my
him.
god, that's so good.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's your number 1
Now that's number 2.
That's
or number
two.
2. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, sorry. I'm gonna come right back to you, Jeff, for your number 1.
Come right back to me. Andy Williams again. We're going back to back.
Yep.
So happy holidays, or it's the holidays. I hope you guys like my singing here too. It's the holiday season.
Yeah,
And
nice.
Santa Claus is coming round.
So
I mean,
whoop de whoop and dickory dock.
Yeah. He'll be coming down the chimney now.
Dude,
My favorite one
just
by far.
just some blocky, like not just some staples, some classics. Yeah, I love it, Jeff. I love
Yep.
it. What do you got, Matty O, for your number 1?
I got it every single year I've got to hear this one. I share this one with the great incomparable David Letterman. Christmas, Baby Please Come Home by Darlene Love. Just unbelievable.
No?
Unbelievable song. Fantastic singer. I believe it's on oh gosh. Hey, bear with me. I've got it here on my iTunes. Hang on. It's on A Christmas Gift for You from Phil Spector. It was oh, I've started accidentally playing it. But we might have to. Darlene Love, Christmas, Baby Please Come Home. Dave Letterman used to have her on whenever he could around the holiday season to sing it.
Okay.
Jeff, you'll appreciate this one. Darlene Love also played Detective Roger Murtaugh's wife in the Lethal Weapon series. So Darlene Love.
Yep.
Also, you could
Love
say
it.
that's a Christmas movie as well.
I mean, one could argue. You're right.
But yeah, Darlene Love. That's probably my number 1 go-to.
I think we've talked about that, Matt. Speaking of Lethal Weapon, just speaking of the wife and the family, just their over the top closeness where they can just like
walking
into
on their dad in the bathtub,
like butt naked in the tub.
But also he's taking a bath. Like maybe that was more commonplace in the 80s in Los Angeles for a detective to, turning 40. I'm going to take a bath this morning. A morning bath.
And the whole family will just
come walking right in,
standing in there.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'm going to give you my number 1. I didn't think this would be controversial. Someone made a rather snide side comment a few minutes ago, so I don't know what kind of treatment I'm in for here. I'm not joking. My number one favorite Christmas song is The Little Drummer Boy. I feel moved emotionally. Maybe not every time I hear it, but every third or fourth time I hear it. All the boy had was his little drum, but by God, he played it.
He played he played the
By
damn
God, he
thing.
played it.
Played it for the Christ child.
That's exactly right. He played it for the baby Jesus. And I'm going
Oh
to
my
cheat a
God, I'm
little bit.
dying.
I've discovered two new versions of the Little Drummer Boy just
Okay,
this
thank God.
season. There's 1,000 versions out there that everyone loves. These two, I think you guys would both like. The Jackson 5 has a version that's very Jackson 5-y and very good. The
Okay.
other one I discovered is a Ray Charles version.
Okay.
It's very like soulful.
Now
Check it out. Check out the Ray Charles version of Little Drummer Boy.
I am going to.
I knew you would.
Can you do you mess with the Bing Crosby David Bowie version?
I
Because
mean, of
I'm a
course, that's
fan of that one.
classic. Absolutely. I love that one. Not only do I love that one, I love the one of Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly imitating that one. So I don't know if you guys
Yes.
have seen that
Oh
one.
yeah.
They're both
It's very
outstanding.
good. It's very good.
I mean, that's kind of one of the go-tos. I think Sinatra has a version of it as well. I mean, you cannot go wrong with a Little Drummer Boy.
No, you can't.
And it's good for children. It's good for adults. It's like pizza. Everybody loves the Little Drummer Boy.
That's right.
I just think of Angela from The Office. Like they ask her what her favorite
Angela
song is.
loves the Little Drummer Boy. Dwight loves the Little Drummer Boy. Charlotte, my almost 2-year-old, loves the Little Drummer Boy. Everybody loves the Little Drummer Boy.
All right, fine.
I'm not going to hate on that.
Charlotte will walk up to the Alexa machine and just yell. Like she can't put it together yet to like actually get Alexa to listen to her, but she'll just yell like Little Drummer Boy. Like she won't say it that coherently, but like it's hysterical. So
Yeah,
I like it.
Anyway, all right. Well, this was good. We got there's so much great Christmas music out there. I think that's another thing that makes Christmas great is that you're always discovering new songs that you didn't know were out there, and they could be old classics, they could be new ones. I think we did a good job of covering both.
Yeah, there's a lot that got left on the cutting room floor. I'll have you know.
And now
that's right. That's exactly right. There's so much more. There's so much more in the Andy Williams catalog alone.
Yes.
Right.
And now, common fans, for your listening pleasure, we will now sing our favorite. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. Well, listen, for anyone who's listened to the Common Fan podcast, we're going to pivot a little bit here. For anyone who's listened, you know that food is sort of a big focus of this show and a running theme of this show. We had a very, I wouldn't say divisive, but a very passionate Thanksgiving meal conversation. And there's a lot of ground to be plowed here when it comes to Christmas. So guys, I'm just gonna kind of open this thing up, guys. We can start with main courses, favorite main courses at Christmas. We can start with maybe favorite Christmas cookies. I mean, I think we have to get into Christmas cookies specifically. Sides. I don't know. You guys have thoughts on where we want to start here?
I mean, let's just jump into it. I mean,
yeah,
I've got a few notes here.
Why don't you start us off, Matteo?
Hey, go ahead.
Well, so one of the first things I had was, I know for me around the holidays, I do a lot more snacking between meals than I do the rest of the year, the rest of the calendar year.
Yeah, I got you.
So
unfortunately for me, I snack between meals pretty much all the time.
Well, I mean, I would, it's just one of those things where I think Mrs. Owens has more snacks in the pantry than around the holidays than we typically would, and that's fine because it's best for me in my waistline. But whether it's like a good old meat and cheese board, you got some salami or summer sausage or whatever you want to call that, and no real exotic cheeses, Jeff, but maybe throw something a little bit crazy in there. Some good old cheddar, or I will get down with some Gouda or some a little bit more exotic than you might enjoy, Jeff. But a meat and cheese board. But something I mentioned to you guys last night, I love a good snack mix.
Yeah.
And I feel like over the last few years, it's kind of become a tradition We get
I do too.
Trader Joe's has they call it a step up to the snack bar mix.
Hmm.
And it is phenomenal. It's like I think there's little sesame sticks in there. There's some honey mustard pretzels, like there's like pieces of like basically like Fritos corn chips,
Gotcha.
all in this little can of snack mix, and it is fantastic. And they also have there's its spicy brother. There's a spicy version of it that I also enjoy. That's very good. So I always like that. So little bit of snacking. Okay. And so that's one of my things. I've got more here, but I think probably best if we kind of pass the torch here.
I love the snacking thing. I didn't even think about that. That's brilliant because it's so true. Like there is a lot of in between meal. You're having cocktails, you're chatting,
Yeah.
you see
You're just
something,
milling
like,
around.
you reach over and grab something, toss it in your mouth. Like, I don't know if anybody's family, my parents forever had like this giant wooden bowl full of nuts that required you to manually crack them.
Oh yeah.
The nut crack, literally like a real
literal
nutcracker. Yeah. And you
just
people be over in the corner cracking those. Has Christmas even really started until the ring of shrimp cocktail hits the table before?
Love some good shrimp cocktail.
That might be one of my favorite things ever. But the one thing that I will never, ever be down with, and I hope Andy, Matt, and Jamie are listening right now because I know they love this.
Oh God.
The pickled herring with like a cracker.
It's disgusting.
Looks like it could be the grossest thing I've ever seen.
It is. I've tried it.
Lord.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't. I mean, I think I choked it down, but there was plentiful gagging, trying the pickled herring, and they will just pop it in their mouth, and it's like, oh yeah, like no, it is basically a wet, cold, fish. And I think a lot of times does it come out of a can? I think it's out of a can.
I think so, or like a jar.
Yeah, or out of a jar, And it is not for me. And I'm a fairly adventurous eater. Like there's not a whole lot of things that I'm like won't touch. That is gag fest.
I like pickled stuff too, and that just like, oh my God, I never tried it and I never will try it. Sorry, fellas.
Woo. No, I think you guys raised a really good point though, because I think you're right. Like there's a lot of holiday gatherings, whether it's families getting together, whether it's Christmas parties or whatever, people are just more likely to have stuff on hand. And so I think you're more likely to show up at somebody's house and get cookies thrown at you.
Right.
Or yeah, exactly. Or some kind of other snack. Something like that. And Matty O threw out the summer sausage. That was a staple for my dad. I think of it more. You definitely do it over the Christmas season. I think of it also as like a New Year's Day watching bowl games kind of thing. But like having that summer sausage on hand, like that probably wasn't something we were gonna do a lot throughout the year, but in the holidays you kind of make that excuse and you just go for it. So I think this is I want to get into like favorite like Christmas meals, favorite main courses. Thank God, like it's not a set tradition that people have turkey at Christmas like it is at Thanksgiving, so we can all like actually enjoy the meal. But
Watch it, dude.
Let's
calm down.
Let's put a plug in that for a minute since we're on snack foods. I want to go to favorite Christmas cookies because Christmas cookies are in a category all their own. I'll go ahead and start, guys. For me, we only make them. It's probably something we should make throughout the year. Maybe not for our health, but for our mental joy and satisfaction. Peanut blossoms, guys. The peanut butter cookie. The peanut butter cookies with the Hershey Kisses in the middle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those are good.
Those are good.
For me, that's number one.
Love
it's
those.
kind of like
peanut blossoms. Is that what you called them?
Aren't they peanut blossoms? Aren't they?
I don't know. I've had those. I guess I never really thought of what those were called, but yeah, I've had those. Tons.
My mom made them every year. Both my grandmas made them. We've started to make them in our house. We'll make 200. And we give a
Yeah.
lot to the neighbors and friends and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Love peanut blossoms. And then the other thing for me, which it's very basic, standard, but again, like you could get them at the store anytime. Maybe friends make them throughout the year, but I associate them with Christmas. It's just your standard sugar cookie with frosting.
That's what. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's nothing better. For me, I like it a little bit soft. I don't want to have to chew. I don't want it to be
Yeah.
Sure.
crunchy. Like, I like it very soft. But for me, peanut blossoms and sugar cookies are like, if
That's like
that's
a
all you get during Christmas season, that's all you need.
Yeah. A good frosted sugar cookie, either with the vanilla extract in the frosting or almond extract. I could go either way.
Yep.
Um, and my kids do get a little heavy handed with the sprinkles, because Catherine always does a great job helping, having the kids help out with the cookies, making the cookies a little heavy handed with the sprinkles, but you can always kind of shake it off a little bit and get some of this little excess sprinkles off, because really all I want is the frosting and the cookie itself.
Sure.
I'd be fine without the sprinkles, but I know it's part of the fun. So
Uh,
that's kind of our main one.
You're a good dad. Yeah.
I agree. The
You said it, not me.
blossom thing is good. That just is synonymous with like bake sales. If I ever went to a bake sale at school, I was always hitting those up first. And puppy chow kind of goes into that same category with me too. Not necessarily.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why I feel like your comment about bake sales cheapens the peanut blossom, but whatever.
What is your problem? I'm trying to give you a
I don't.
compliment right now.
I don't. Well, I appreciate that, Jeff. I
What are you
mean,
drinking there?
whatever.
Mike's Hard Lemonade? What is that?
Oh, this is a Miller High Life.
Oh, okay. All
Oh,
right. There you go.
oh yeah, that didn't go how you thought it would, did it, Jeff?
Yeah.
With Mike's Hard Lemonade, he comes at you with Miller High Life.
Things are getting
Champagne and beer.
serious on the Christmas
All right.
episode.
I just thought of one real quick. Growing up, we had all three of us had a mutual friend growing up. Nick, who is the commissioner of our fantasy football league, his mom,
Nicholas Ryan.
Nicholas Ryan, his mom made these chocolate peanut butter balls.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say
My
that.
God,
Yes.
those things, I just thought of it. Those things were unbelievable.
Were those only a Christmas thing though? I feel like she made them at other points.
She
too.
might have, but I specifically remember them around because she would make like a big holiday tray of treats.
Those things
And those things were always there.
like crack cocaine. Those things are
Y'all get down with Andy's mints. I feel like I don't eat those except for Christmas time. I would never
Andy's
eat
mints.
Andy's
Oh, like the chocolate mints?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't get down with them. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not opposed to them.
You can get those at Olive Garden.
I'm not opposed.
You can. You're right. You're absolutely right. You can.
The OG?
Yeah.
The
You get them at the OG?
I'm not sure that's really a Christmas thing, Jeff.
How it is too. It is too a Christmas.
That's an
thing.
after dinner.
I won't
thing,
hear.
Jeff.
I won't hear otherwise. What about gingerbread houses? Y'all get down with those?
We make them.
For
Our
the
kids make them.
Yeah, for the
Yeah.
kids.
We don't eat them.
I'm envisioning Geoff at the kitchen
I already
table.
don't like your attitude about the question.
Yeah, at the kitchen table at like midnight, smoking a cigarette, making his own gingerbread house. Everybody's asleep and just eating little bits of the candy while he makes the gingerbread house.
Are you smacking? What are you doing? Are you hitting your cat? What are you doing?
Cat will not leave me alone. Get lost, cat.
Good Lord.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, we do gingerbread houses. This kind of like my wife kind of leads that charge with the kids.
Yeah, same.
We have one ready to go upstairs. We haven't gotten to it yet, but I don't think I've ever actually eaten one. I think we just build it and then we end up throwing it away.
Yeah, that's kind of what we do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, I'm pretty sure we might even use like a hot glue gun occasionally or something like that. So we're definitely not eating these gingerbread houses.
I want to throw something out for you guys. My grandmother made these forever. It's not necessarily Christmas only because she always made them. Grandma Ludi, Czech, 100% Czech. This is a Czech kind of Slavic dessert. Are you guys familiar with kolaches?
Yeah,
oh yeah,
I am.
absolutely.
Kolaches. Like a puffy pastry with like a fruity filling in
Like
the
a
middle.
jelly
Absolutely.
type
Yeah,
thing.
usually like jelly filling. You could do like a poppy seed filling. I've even heard of cheese. My grandma never did cheese in the middle. Like, no, thank you. But like usually like sweet, I think of as sweet.
Cherries, peaches,
exactly.
lemon.
Exactly. Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
Matty O, very good. So I love kolaches. Again, I feel like my grandma always, like you walked into grandma's house, she usually had kolaches available. So for
Yeah.
whatever reason, I just associate those with Christmas. Did you guys grow up eating kolaches?
Yeah. Did you ever? Did anyone never try to give you one that had prunes in it? That's something that's on my mom's side.
Please, God, no.
Yeah,
Hell no.
like I think of
Like
the
an
Danny,
oatmeal raisin cookie.
the Danny DeVito, It's Always Sunny gift where he's like, like shaking his head. No, no, no.
Yeah.
That's what, like the face I would make if I was offered a prune kolache. No prunes for me.
Yeah,
I'm not
no
a prunes guy.
I'm
no
not a
prunes
raisin guy.
whatsoever.
Period. Like,
Yeah,
ugh.
I hate raisins.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that, Jeff.
Yeah, I've never had
Um,
it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, we just don't come from that walk of life. No one in our family made kolaches, so I'm not even sure if I've ever actually eaten one. I've seen them, but I
yeah,
don't
no,
know if
that's
I've
okay.
actually
It's not.
consumed
I
one.
would. Yeah, it's not necessarily. It's kind of. It's regional. It's ethnic. It's It's not
Yeah.
necessarily a given. Yeah. So,
It's from the
uh,
old country.
yeah, yeah. Okay. It's funny to me. I was thinking about this for main courses for Christmas. The only place I've seen that people actually eat a turkey on Christmas is movies, right?
And the Langenberg household.
The Christmas Vacation, they ruin the turkey on
Yep.
Christmas Story. You're talking. I like
Mhm.
that was never a thing for our family. It's certainly not the staple it is. I feel like for Thanksgiving. I don't really want to get into turkey and how terrible it is. But like Jeff, I guess if it's a family thing for you, we could talk about it.
Mm.
But I'm just curious, what's your guys like go to for your Christmas meal staple?
Turkey. It's what we
Ham.
have every year.
Can we mute Jeff now?
Yeah.
What do you want me to say? All right, we do
You
turkey
guys have
every
turkey?
year.
Is that,
It's like we
do
do Thanksgiving
you
all
have any
over.
other? Do you have any other protein? Do you have like ham or it's
No,
meat?
hell no. I mean, ham is usually an Easter thing for us. Like, ham for some reason comes up on Easter, and I'm not a big fan of it, as you know. Ham sucks. But we do turkey again for Christmas. It's like I said, it's basically just we're redoing Thanksgiving all over again. I mean, it's literally
Yeah.
the exact same stuff. We have a turkey, we have stuffing and dressing,
Ah,
we have cranberry sauce, we have corn, mashed potatoes, gravy. It's literally the exact green bean casserole, which I do not eat. I'd rather throw it in the trash.
yeah.
But it's the exact same thing over again. And I have no
But
problem with it. I like it.
you're
I
like,
like
it's
listen,
like
listen for
Thanksgiving
the
2.0 for you.
yeah.
for the
Mhm.
for the common fans listening. I've known Geoff and Lincoln since we were 15, I think, maybe earlier than that. So
Maybe.
I know your parents, I know your family.
Mhm.
This is new information for me. I guess all I can say is I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say.
I don't know what you're apologizing
I
for.
love you. I tell your
The
parents
deliciousness of turkey.
I love them. Tell your family I love them.
I'm sorry, it's like one of the most popular
It's
meats on the planet. It literally is on
disgusting.
every sandwich ever made, I
It
think.
makes me want to vomit. Matt, let's move forward. Matt,
We
what do you
used
got?
to we used to do Grandma Phyllis's house in Ashton, Nebraska. I feel like we used to do like a basically like a Thanksgiving 2.0, and we do turkey and stuff. Somewhere along the lines it turned to, and we'd always celebrate Christmas Eve. We do Christmas Eve and all that
Mhm.
stuff and open gifts with my mom's side. Somewhere along the lines it turned to just a bunch of different soups. And it was
Oh my
like
god.
it'd be like there was a clam
I'm
chowder, there
sorry.
was a potato soup, and there was a chili. And I didn't at the time, I was a kid, I didn't care because it was just like, yeah, whatever, let's cram all this food in and everybody finish up fast because we're gonna go open presents right after this. So like that the Christmas Eve like dinner was always like, let's go. Like, I don't care. And me and
Yeah.
the other kids, the cousins and my sister and stuff, it was like, I don't care about this. Let's get on to the presents. And I feel
Yeah.
like the adults and my parents and my aunts and uncles and my grandparents would always just like sit there unnecessarily, like way longer at the dinner table, like knowing that the kids were going crazy in the other room waiting for the parent
Yeah.
to open
Yep.
presents. But now, now more recently, it's Christmas Day, it's ham. Like we always have a ham. Like we celebrate Christmas. We had to do our Christmas meal at my in-laws, at my wife with my wife's side, and it's a ham, and it's there'll be a ham, and there might be some potatoes or green bean casserole or something like that. But yeah, Christmas ham, I love it. I like turkey. Turkey's fine on Thanksgiving. Christmas to me is more of it's a ham thing. You make a Christmas ham, and I still will absolutely get down on some leftover ham. I'll eat it cold. I'll eat it warmed up. I don't care. Slap it on a sandwich. Throw some mustard on it with some bread, and I will get down on that. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Lord.
for me, Geoff seems distraught. For me, there are a lot fewer hard and fast rules for Christmas. So for me, one of them is like, I want to have at least one like big family meal where we're pulling out all the stops. Now that could be on Christmas Eve. It could be on Christmas Day. God forbid if it's turkey, but other than that, like I know growing up for a few years, we had a tradition, like we would make a big meal, and then suddenly, like we went to, we would pick up, to like take this massive spread from Grisanti's in Lincoln.
Oh, awesome!
You remember Grisanti's? Yeah.
Oh yeah,
the phenomenal
Miss
garlic
it so
bread,
much.
Love it.
pastas. Yeah, so that was
Tomato
super fun. That
tortellini
was like,
soup.
I feel like that was a little closer to adulthood. We would do that on Christmas Eve. Now in my own house with my family, more recent years, we'll kind of do steak on the grill, and then just tons of mashed potatoes and a bunch of other sides. Super simple. Other things I think of growing up were like a beef roast, like a nice roast in the oven. But like my big overriding thing here is like, you got to have at least one big massive meal, because to me on like, you want to spend some time, whether it's Christmas Day, whether it's the day after, like you want to like take Christmas vacation to just be super lazy. Like you're not like, you want to have a little bit of time where you're watching the new, in the old days, you'd get a DVD or you'd get a VHS tape and you'd be so excited about it. So you're watching the new movies that you got for Christmas, or you're playing with your new toys if you're the kids or whatever. And so you don't want to work that hard at it. So you want to have those leftovers ready to grab. So for me, there's not as much that's hard and fast. And Jeff, like I'll light a candle for you at church. I'm sorry that you have to go through the full turkey experience again for Christmas. That sounds terrible.
Oh, it's awesome.
But other than that, and I'll tell you guys something super cool. I actually made a note of this. I wanted to share with you guys. So my older brother lives in New Hampshire, born and raised in Lincoln, Nebraska, like me, but he lives in New Hampshire. His wife is from Massachusetts, and Massachusetts, New Hampshire area. So like when they met, her parents, the movie Manchester by the Sea, when they met, her parents were living in Manchester by the Sea. Like my brother's wife's family is of the sea. Like just like our people are of the land, of the farm, they're like legit of the sea. Like her brother was a lobster farmer until very recently, or a lobster fisherman, whatever you call that.
Yeah, right.
So there were a couple years, I'm trying to remember, it may have been before they had kids or when their kids were really little, but there were a couple years when we were all coming back to Nebraska for Christmas. They would pick up live lobsters.
Oh, wow.
And carry them on the plane. And then we would have lobster at Christmas. It was unbelievable.
That's wild.
I didn't realize
that.
this. Like it's super easy. It's actually cooking a lobster is you boil water.
Yeah.
Boil water and then you
throw it in there.
The live lobster in there, and it takes like 10, 15 minutes. And it's freaking delicious.
Yeah.
But it's unbelievable. We'd get these like East Coast like lobsters live transported to us, and we'd eat them, 24 hours later. We'd set them down on the kitchen floor. They'd crawl around or whatever. So that was super cool. So I don't feel like there needs to be hard and fast rules at Christmas, but I do believe there needs to be a feast.
There is a feast.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard of the Feast of the Seven Fishes?
No.
Is that a Bible verse I should know of some
sort? No. So
it's
we did this
school Christmas song that TJ likes.
My mom, we did this with my mom years ago.
That's funny, Jeff.
In recent years, we've done at least basically since I've been married, we've typically done Christmas Eve at my mom's, and my mom's a great cook, so she kind of, she's. One year we did the feast where you literally have 7 different kinds of fish at your meal, and it's an old traditional thing. I think it's Italian. So and it's just an abundance thing. Like, you're celebrating at Christmas time, so you have all these things. And I think originally, I think you most likely you like fasted for most of the day, and then it's like you had this giant feast on Christmas Eve, the Feast of the Seven Fishes. More recently, documented on The Bear, which is great program if you guys have seen it on FX. I know it's the first season a little tough to watch. It's super anxiety ridden, and but very good. And that Christmas episode of The Bear was fantastic. Great cast. But no, Feast of the Seven Fish, we've done that once. My mom also has been known to do a bûche de Noël, which is basically a Yule log. And it's just like a little chocolate dessert, like a little cake.
Yeah.
So, every once in a while we do the bûche de Noël, and very, very good, very delicious. Shout out to Gam Pam Pam.
That sounds
There you go.
lovely.
I'm not a big fish guy. Not gonna lie to you. Not a big
That
seafood
doesn't
guy.
surprise me,
I mean,
Yeah,
Jeff.
big shocker.
I mean,
Big shocker.
I don't mind lobster. The only complaint I have about lobster and like crab, it's just a pain in the ass to eat. It's tough to eat.
What
no,
about
work.
you guys ever done
I like it. It takes forever.
you ever had beef Wellington?
I never have.
Not I mean I love beef. Beef Wellington is to me is like a treat. I don't think I've ever had it at Christmas, but like hell yes.
Yeah, we've
Yes,
done that.
I
We've
don't
done
know.
that once or twice on Christmas. We had beef Wellington. That's damn good.
No, Jeff's just sitting there.
What is he doing? He's leaving.
No,
No, he's not.
What's happening
No,
with
he's
you
not.
guys?
What I said is like Jeff's just sitting there on Christmas, shoveling in the dry, flavorless turkey.
Not if
for
you
the-
put some
for
salt and
the
pepper on
second,
it and
for
some
the second
gravy.
time the second time in a
Slides
month.
right down the
What
gullet.
about,
really nice and easy?
Yeah.
It's
What
delicious.
about drinks? Like, what do you guys consume as far as beverages?
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up. In my whole history of growing up, we never ever ever drank eggnog. Did you guys do eggnog? I was just never.
No,
Hell no.
not growing up.
Yeah.
Not growing up.
Hell no. Still
More
not.
in my adult years, I have consumed my fair share.
Well, so as an adult, I mean, what's the standard sort of supplement to eggnog? Is it bourbon?
I won't consume it without putting some bourbon in it. And I'll
What is
mix.
it-
I'll full
what
on.
is-
I'll
what-
put in it, and I'll mix it with the
What's
bourbon
I
because
don't even know,
otherwise
what
it
is eggnog-
it'll
what is
separate
eggnog-
sometimes.
What is eggnog made of? I don't even know.
Oh, I don't know.
Me neither.
Completely unhealthy crab egg. I think there's actual eggs in it. Cream. Who knows what
Like,
else?
Good God,
the
man.
fine folks who hosted the Christmas vacation party that I mentioned had eggnog with bourbon in it, and they said they got it at Costco, and it was like fine. It was like it was like enjoyable for the moment, but I was also sort of like, how soon can I move on to the? They had an old fashioned station, and they had beer and wine and other stuff. So it's sort of like, how soon can I get through this and move on to something else?
Yeah.
Like, so for me, I don't know if it's the time of year or whatever. I'll drink these year round, but like for me, Christmas time is like Manhattan time.
Yeah.
Okay.
like-
Yeah.
I've never
It's
never
like
had eggnog.
a nice bourbon drink, a nice
I would
dark
s-
liquor drink, and of course the red wine should flow throughout the Christmas season. It should flow
Yeah.
like the river.
Yeah,
that.
you should gotta have some red wine. I same with you for you in Manhattan. For me, it's I gotta have an old fashioned, at least one old fashioned,
Sure,
maybe
very,
two
very, very similar
around
drink.
Christmas
Yeah.
Eve.
Yeah.
How about this one? I got one for you guys to see if you would like. First of all, have you guys ever had a Negroni?
Mm-mm.
I don't like them.
Disgusting.
I don't like them,
Yeah.
but I found the Negroni's cousin, which is bourbon instead of gin.
Huh.
So it's
Mhm.
bourbon. It's 2 ounces bourbon, an ounce of Campari, and an ounce of sweet vermouth. And it'll put a little hair on your chest.
Yeah.
But I mean, aside from just drinking straight bourbon, bourbon on the rocks, which I
Which
love,
by the way, which we celebrate on this program.
which we do.
Absolutely.
I love that. That's the best way to drink bourbon. But if you have to put something in it, I discovered this last year, and I'm like, I could have a couple of these in the winter. It feels a very wintry cocktail.
And that's
But
interesting.
it's called the Boulevardier.
Okay.
Okay.
So Sal will order that drink sometimes, and I will always take a sip, and I always hate it.
I never did like a Negroni.
But I would love to try it with bourbon.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
I enjoyed it.
Huh.
Hmm.
Interesting. All right. Okay. I want to move on. Anything else on Christmas food?
I don't think so. I think just because you think of a grosser name, eggnog. It just sounds like a gross name. Eggnog.
Yeah,
It's gross.
Yeah, I don't know
it-
why. That's a nog.
I don't know
Nog.
why. I don't know why that ever became a thing. Maybe we'll do
But
a
I
whole.
think
Yeah.
I think that having it, and since we talked about Christmas Vacation, I mean, to me, it's even funnier when Clark's like flipping out and he gets the Jelly of the Month Club and he just starts slams like 2 whole cups of eggnog and it's just like dripping everywhere.
Yep.
And I don't think it's even spiked. It's just sitting out too,
Yeah.
Jeff.
Oh,
Which
In a
like
bowl. In a bowl.
Yep.
for
Yeah.
in a
Yep.
bowl like
Oh,
that for you, the Mr. Safe food safety
oh my God.
don't want to eat anything that's been sitting out too long
No.
or drink anything that's been sitting out too long.
Involving
Uh,
eggs.
I thought we watched it the other day and I
Good
thought about like I
God.
wonder what Jeff thinks of that eggnog just sitting
Oh,
there in that punch bowl just sitting out in the living room.
yeah. All
I
night
love
long.
that you're sitting there watching Christmas Vacation as a family, and it makes you think of Jeff.
Have that
No,
effect on people.
it's so true. It's so true. Like that's the perfect thing for like. Of course, Clark Griswold has eggnog like at his family, his fun old fashioned family Christmas. I got one more Christmas topic for you guys, and then a real quick, just like we'll wrap it up with a Husker thing, Husker football thing. Um, I'd love you guys to take opening presents Christmas Day versus Christmas Eve. Discuss.
We go day. We always have. Always been a Christmas Day thing. We'll allow like the kids to open something on Christmas Eve, one present on
Mhm.
Christmas Eve is kind of like a teaser, give them a little taste. But
Sure.
even when I growing up, we always did Christmas Day presents. I think it's probably from a planning perspective. There's just a lot of things you still got to do on Christmas Eve, and then I think we always went to mass on Christmas Eve, so we always had to
Yeah.
go to
Yep.
church.
Yep.
And so we never went on Christmas Day because it was going to be a busy day anyways.
Yep.
So I'm all in on opening presents on Christmas Day. Plus, it's just Eve's fun anyways. The anticipation of Santa coming and all that stuff for the
Totally.
kids, it's just awesome.
Yeah.
Plus, it adds to that heightened like you're like I don't know about you guys, but I slept like crap on Christmas Eve.
Oh
I
yeah.
would be up all night long, waking up like every hour on the hour. Like, is it? I'm looking at the clock to see what time it was. So I'm all in on Christmas Day present opening, not
Yeah.
Christmas Eve.
Same. Christmas morning is where it's at. Now, you know, you have to you're splitting up when you're splitting up Christmas celebrations with different parts of your
Extended
family.
family. Yeah. Right.
Like,
Mhm.
like I mentioned, we do
Yeah.
Christmas Eve at my mom's, so we're opening presents at my mom's.
Right.
I not nothing against that, Mom. I love you, but I'm with you, Jeff. Chris, something about Christmas morning, and you roll out of bed, and Mom and Dad just look like absolute hammered dog shit, and eyes are half open, like.
Yeah.
Like, wait, guys, like, don't start yet. Let us get a pot of coffee going.
Yeah. Let's at least get
Just
the
hang
coffee
on,
on.
everybody, calm down.
Let me take a
The
bite of
big
this
man
toast.
came, the beautiful ancient old man came down the chimney, and the magic is here. But just hang on 1 second. Give us 5 minutes. Daddy
And
needs his coffee.
that 5 minutes
Yep.
feels like 2 hours when you're a kid.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm totally with you guys. So our tradition growing up was we would always. I'm one of 5 kids, so we would always draw names for a gift exchange. And so on Christmas Eve, we would do the gift exchange. So you
Mhm.
could like whet the appetite a little bit. You could open one gift, you get your gift from whatever sibling, whatever. So that was fun, and that kind of became a tradition for us. So my thing is it's got to be Christmas Day for all the reasons you guys said and more. If there are some slight variations in that or slight minor exceptions for Christmas Eve, I think that's perfectly fine and acceptable. But what I don't understand is people who open all the gifts on Christmas Eve. Um, and I sort of wonder, like, we've all heard about this debate. I sort of wonder if this was more of a thing in generations gone by or something. Like, I'm not really aware of a lot of people who do Christmas Eve these days. Um, but I'm glad we're all in unison on this. I guess I sort of expected maybe at least Geoff to have a contrary opinion or something.
Oh, as he typically would, but no, I think that's one of the best things about Christmas. It's magical, right?
It is. That's exactly
And you
right.
come down and see that Santa actually did have some of the cookies you left out for him and drink the milk, and you
Mhm.
put the carrots out for the reindeer, and they even took advantage of those.
Yeah.
Exciting.
I'm gonna throw out one thing that became a tradition in our household, which is a local bakery reference. Are you guys, and I honestly don't even know if it's still there. Do you guys know Conroy's in
Yeah.
Lincoln?
Sure
Yeah.
do.
I don't know if
Mhm.
they're still I don't know if they're still going around though.
Oh
They
man.
they had moved from the Union College neighborhood out south, and I think
Are they not
there
in
might have
Union
been a
College anymore?
generational. No,
Oh
no, we used to
man.
go there all the time.
Oh,
I think it passed down to the next generation, and then I don't think they could keep it going.
damn.
Oh, son of
Damn,
a
damn.
gun. It looks like maybe they're closed now. Son of a
Yeah.
gun. Dude,
But they
so
were they
that
were
was
they were
so
fantastic.
our tradition was my parents would pick up a boatload of rolls from Conroy's
Mhm.
on Christmas Eve. We'd order in advance. And again, I'm one of five. Usually a grandmother or somebody would be there. Like we'd just have like 50 rolls or something. And so like on Christmas Day, and I didn't even drink coffee then, but the combination of the smell of the rolls and the coffee and
Oh
just
yeah,
Right.
just and wrapping paper, just all of it, right? Um, was just combined to make like for just a phenomenal experience. But yeah, Conroy's was fantastic. I'm sorry to hear that they closed their doors. Those were the best Christmas rolls.
yeah,
Damn.
yeah.
All right, boys. I feel like we've covered a lot of ground here. This is a Nebraska football podcast.
Mhm.
And we're giving ourselves a little bit of an exception for the Christmas episode, but we should probably talk about one or two Nebraska football related items. So here's what we're going to do. We're not going to do anything involving the present day. I think of Christmas. I don't only think of Christmas Day. I also think of Christmas break, which always extends obviously through New Year's Day and past New Year's Day. So I wanted to get, obviously that is bowl season as well. And that's when the best bowl games are played, are hopefully on New Year's Day or as close to it as possible.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So I wanted to just get your guys's sort of favorite Husker football memory during Christmas break. Acknowledging that it will likely be more of a New Year's type memory, but we're not going to do a New Year's episode. This is the Christmas episode, Christmas break, Husker football, et cetera, et
Mhm.
cetera. Mattio, let's start with you, my friend.
Well, I don't think this should be any surprise to anyone. Yeah, I immediately go to the 1995 Orange Bowl, obviously from the 1994 season. Um, there was something really special and magical about Tom Osborne getting that first national championship. Um, Not only, vague memories of watching the actual game itself. Obviously, it was amazing. I think, 12 years old, but I feel like almost every year following that for about 10 years straight, I would rewatch that game on a VHS. And it's just something about like around the holidays, like you mentioned, Christmas break from, Christmas into New Year's Day. I think I would, maybe it was just watching it to get ready for whatever bowl game Nebraska was playing in that year. But that was kind of like for me, the next year against Florida when we just stomped them was great. But something about that first one where, we had Tommy was back and he was playing, and we had Brooke Behringer, and
Well,
Miami
we finally got
was
over the hump, right? Like
finally got over the
we
hump.
didn't know if we could ever do that. We didn't know if we could play with the fast Florida teams, all that stuff.
And yeah, and I think it was the last season where we had the legend Kent Pavelka on the radio call. So the VHS we had was Pavelka and Saddlemeyer, their radio call with the broadcast from, I think it was NBC.
Bringing that
And so
trophy back to Lincoln.
yeah, so that
Yeah.
that just made it even better. And Corey Schlesinger, crossing the plain, rubbing salt in the wound. Like I just had all these lines memorized, and it's the things like Pavelka would be like, "Oh, another cheap shot, typical the University of Miami." Like he was such a homer, and I loved it. I ate it up. It was
Yes.
so good. So that's my number one go-to. But there's some other memories in there, like of more recent years. I remember it was I can't remember what year it was, but it was the Alamo Bowl when we had the Callahan years playing Michigan and not thinking like we had any chance to win. And then there was a little bit of Husker magic, it felt like, in that game.
Yep.
And we were victorious. There was the play at the end of the game where Michigan lateraled like a million times and almost scored, and everybody's running onto the field and the play still wasn't dead. And then, a couple with Bo, a couple Gator Bowl wins over Clemson. And then later on, Georgia, we had the 99-yard pass
Quincy
to Quincy from Tommy Armstrong. So those are some, an older school memory, and there's a few in there, and more, I guess when we're in our adulthood years, I guess you could say. But I sure like to create some new ones, guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
amen to that. Jeffrey, what do you got?
Well, I mean, you folks know I grew up in a predominantly Notre Dame Fighting Irish household, so a lot of my time was spent watching Rick Meyer just throwing dimes and Lou Holtz on the sideline. And bear with me, all right? So those are the most vivid memories I have of bowl games during our Christmas break. I don't really have an embedded memory of a really good Husker moment per se, but what I will tell you is whenever we watched Nebraska games, it was always a group setting. We were at somebody's house. We would go to somebody's house. And the main thing I always remember from watching Husker games when I was a kid is there was just zero supervision. Like the game was on and kids had like free reign to do whatever the hell they wanted. Like no one was ever paying attention to us. So parents would be upstairs drinking their cocktails, watching the game, hooting and hollering. Kids would be downstairs doing their own thing, running around. You were outside, you were inside. No one had any clue what you were doing. And the main goal of the whole evening was we could count on this. At this age, just bear with me. People would be enjoying their pops, having a good time. And at the beginning of the night, your folks would always be like, all right, we're going to go over, we're going to watch the game, we're going home. Nobody's staying the night, okay? We're not having sleepover. We're not doing this shit. But slowly, as the night went on, we couldn't quite put our finger on it. But mom and dad and everybody else slowly started to get a little bit more nice and freewheeling when it came to asking questions like that. Where by the end of the night, you're like, "Can we have a sleepover?" People were slurring. Oh yeah, come on, that's great. Stay the night here. So we knew the main goal with Husker games is we knew that like by the end of the night, no one was going to be paying attention to what we were doing. And two, we were definitely going to get to have a sleepover when the night was said and done because mom and dad were in a really good mood at 11 o'clock at night on a Saturday. So that's the most in-depth memory I have.
I love that. And
season
in those days, not only were they in a good mood after a few cocktails, but also because the Huskers had likely won, which is a foreign feeling these days. So I love everything that you both just said. I'll say one kind of overriding thing. My memory of bowl season. So in let's see, the house I grew up with, the house I grew up in until second grade, we had a real fireplace. So like it's probably conflated with like later years and other things, but like my thought in my head of bowl season is like wood burning fireplace, summer sausage, Christmas cookies, like all the best things of the season are all in play. Whether it's January 1st bowl, usually we were playing in the Orange Bowl or whatever it was when we were growing up, and watching your team. There's snow on the ground. Again, these are probably like different years and all the best stuff from different years being conflated. But when I think about, so like honestly, on this podcast over the last couple of months, when we've talked about getting to a bowl game, yes, the Huskers need to get to a bowl game for practical reasons of development for the program, but the emotional feeling I have about bowl season is so strong about, you make unhealthy food. Everybody gets to sit and watch. You enjoy, the Huskers. The Huskers are going to win. Like all, and even the Huskers didn't win every bowl game when we were growing up, even when they were dominating the world. But like for me, I feel like I have like all the best. I've cherry picked all the best things about bowl season, and in my
Yeah.
head, that's what like Nebraska bowl games are wins, whether we watch while we eat the best food and cookies,
Encased meats,
yeah, and
Mhm.
sausages and the
little
fireplaces.
smokies, pigs in a
Fireplaces
blanket, chips and
Absolutely.
dips. Oof.
roaring. Exactly. So I'm with you, Mattio. Um, the very first thing I thought of was, Corey Schlesinger. Like, I think the biggest thing was for us, because we were, let's see, 1994 season, January of 95,
Hmm.
we were 12, right?
Yeah.
12.
Yep.
And so, like, that's pretty, we're pretty well into it at that point. We're pretty invested at that. It's been a few
Yeah.
years since we've been paying attention. And the biggest thing then was, I think it was 92 season. We had kind of gotten smoked by Miami in the
Yeah.
Orange Bowl, like 22-0 or something. And like,
Gino
didn't feel,
Toretta.
yeah, didn't feel like we could run with them. And then the year before, it was Charlie Ward and Florida State in the Orange Bowl.
Yeah. We should have beat
And
him.
we should have beat them, but also like I don't know about you guys, like I just remember watching that game and waiting for it to all fall apart and could not like it was sort of like, wait, are we supposed to be in this? Like, well, how are we in this game to the end? It was sort of like this team is supposed to run away with this thing. And so it was
Mhm.
just sort of felt like we were never going to get over the hump. And then in the 94 season, 95 Orange Bowl, Miami goes up 10-0. So it was sort of like, yeah, here we go
Yeah.
again.
Here we
Yeah.
go.
We actually got a chance to win the national title, and we're gonna lose. And of course, we come back and win that thing, and we dominate the fourth quarter. And so for me, that one like really sticks in my brain about just like the era of dominance that was sort of teed up at that point.
Well, I think
Um,
part of it probably too is like that Miami team was awesome. Like Warren Sapp and Ray Lewis on their defense.
yes,
And
yes,
those guys are like sucking air by the end of the game. And our linemen there's that one photo of like Warren Sapp and a few of their D linemen like on a knee or just like gassed. And our
yes.
and our whole offensive line just like staring at them, like
Standing
standing
up.
there, like,
Yep.
yeah, like here it comes again, guys.
It's so great. But then for me, the following year for me is just as special, but I'll tell you why. So one, the Burkle family went to the Fiesta Bowl the
Oh
following year.
wow.
So my
Woo!
parents surprised us with tickets on Christmas Day. So I didn't know
Wow.
until a week before that we were going, which is outstanding. But the second thing that I think people forget, so like the 95 Husker team is now up there every time there's a debate about greatest college football teams ever. The
Mhm.
95 Husker team, and Husker fans always show up on social media to make their case. And so it's sort of like I feel like we take it for granted. That was a 1 versus 2 matchup, and Florida was Steve Spurrier, Danny Werfel, the fun and gun. They were supposed to run all over us, right?
Yeah.
At the very least, it was supposed to be a very competitive game. And we pounded those guys. Like we physically dominated and imposed our will on those guys. And like everyone knows now, 62-24, the classic Tommy Frazier run, making Werfel run for his life, all these things. Like now it's like accepted history, but like that was not an accepted, like that was not a necessarily
Yeah.
obvious outcome going into it.
No, some of
Yeah.
those ESPN guys were like dead certain, like Florida's just got too
We
much
were
of their
supposed to
fun and
get
gun.
run,
They're
we were
gonna,
going to get run out of the stadium.
yeah.
Yeah. And T.O. knew. Osborne knew.
Oh yeah.
He knew.
And yeah, so we just so that one to me is just as special. But again, it's kind of the overriding sentiment of bowl season is just the best thing in the world. And that's why like we say it jokingly on this program about getting to a bowl game, dancing in the streets, blah blah blah. But for me, honestly, like I don't care if it's 3 p.m. on a Wednesday.
No.
Mhm.
We're making snacks and we're tuning out the outside world and we're
Yep.
watching the Huskers play in a bowl game and we're gonna get back to that and I can't wait until we do.
Right. And don't you think part of that's you wanting to recreate the feelings that gave you for your kids too? Like you want that to be like I know Matthew Jr. has been so good, such a loyal Husker fan through these last several years. So like when the poor kid, like when he finally started to understand what was going on and
Bless
start to
you, son.
care, like it's just been a nightmare. Like I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
and
right.
and I've over the last few years gotten used to it. Just like, oh God, here we go again. And the poor kid is just devastated.
Yeah.
Like I think back to that Michigan State game a couple years ago where we the punt return, we kicked, the guy punted it the one way, and
Oh, Michigan
punt team
State.
went one way, Michigan State, and we had that, we were like dominating the whole game. The
Yes.
poor kid, I'm like, I let him stay up and watch the game. All the other kids had to go to bed, and he's just devastated, just bawling in tears. And there's been so many moments like that. I just for so many of these kids who grow up and their parents just abusing them by having them watch Husker games with them. We've got to turn this around. That's part of that's like, yeah, let's get to a bowl game and get this thing going, because
Do it for the
we
kids.
do it for the children. We've got to recreate some of these memories that we have, these sentimental memories of how great it was to make it to a bowl game. And it's fantastic. You're not only you're excited for Christmas, but then Christmas is over. Then, hey, by the way, we're playing in a decent bowl game here in the next 3, 4, 5, 6 days. Like
Mhm.
the holiday season continues.
And we're
Yeah.
making some buffalo chicken dip in the crock pot.
Easy.
Damn
Easy.
right.
No, you're spot on, Matt. And we've talked about this a little bit on this program, and I'll share it with the common fans again. Diehard Husker fan, born and raised in Lincoln. I currently live in Bend, Oregon. Okay. My oldest, Michael, is 9. Okay. He was less than 1 week old for the Melvin Gordon game. Okay. That's been his Husker experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1. 2, we've either lived in the Washington, D.C. area or in Bend, Oregon his entire life. And yet, when he talks about the Huskers, he says, we.
Yes.
Dad,
When do we play?
When do we play? Who do we play next? Whatever. And when we went home for the Iowa game, common fans know, Matt, Jeff, and TJ were all at the Iowa game. There was some sort of school project. I didn't even see it. My wife just told me about it. But there was something about what are you doing for Thanksgiving or whatever. And he wrote in his 9-year-old handwriting, I'm going to the Iowa-Nebraska game with my dad, and the Huskers are going to win by 70.
Oh,
Something like that. And it just like melted my heart. And I love him. And the point of it is like, obviously, I've clearly brainwashed these children, which is problem.
Mhm.
But like, and my 6-year-old Hudson is the same way. Like, Dad, when we this and when like when he said,
us, we.
sometimes it'll be
You baby.
yeah, you guys know how kids are. We might be
Yeah.
sitting there at breakfast on a school day, and they say, "Dad, when do we play so and so?" Like, wait, I don't even know what you're talking about. And they're talking about the Huskers,
Yeah.
And
So,
so,
do they have an
like,
allegiance to Oregon at all, TJ? Like, is there any
yeah, so my
problem
wife
there?
my wife is a Duck, and so we watch the Ducks too, and they pull for the Ducks, and I have concluded, and I have no problem with that. Like,
Yeah.
I've concluded like there's no reason to like cause discord or dissension in the household.
Mhm.
And until we're in the same conference, it didn't matter. Like we could cheer for the Ducks, we could cheer for the Huskers.
That might be a
Now
problem.
we're all going to be in the same conference, so I
Ooh.
guess we'll see. But honestly, like that hasn't been an issue. And like when Oregon and Nebraska played in 2016 and 2017, the kids weren't old enough yet to really know or care or whatever.
Right.
So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I feel like it's been
Yeah.
easy. It's been easy so far. Like I met my wife in 2009. And it's kind of been fun. Like the Ducks, I was like the Chip Kelly era. It's kind of been
Yeah.
fun to watch the Ducks and have like another team do like it's obviously not the same thing, but it's kind of fun to just sort of follow them and see what they're doing. And they're always playing for something, and we're not lately.
Yeah.
So I feel like for my kids, like they can be Duck and Husker fans. It's all good, right? But like I feel like the
Yeah.
fact that
Look how old Jeff turned out, having being a fan of two teams.
well, they've
Thank you,
never
Matt. That's the nicest thing I think you ever said to me on this podcast. Thank you.
No, there was no sarcasm in that
I'm
at
not
all, Jeff.
sure. I'm not sure that was a compliment, but
Oh, you son of a-
anyway, um, they have look, I think they're on the right track when it comes to their Husker fandom. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
There you go.
But like as we've talked
You've
about many
done
times,
well. You've done well, TJ.
Well, I appreciate that. We need some winning seasons. We need some bowl games. We need our kids to start developing these memories, and we need it to mean something again, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
For sure.
It always means something. We need to play for something again. Let me put it that
Yeah.
way.
'Wins do
100%.
matter.
Woo!
Wins matter.
Yes,
Matter.
indeed.
Boys, that's a hell of a Christmas episode.
It is.
Put a bow on that.
that.
Yeah, put a bow on that
Whoa.
shit.
Whoa. What just happened there?
Wow.
That was
Simpatico.
incredible. Wow.
Unbelievable. Common fans, we're going to end here. We started this podcast less than 3 months ago. We're having a blast doing it. We thank you so much for listening. We've had listeners, not joking, from sea to shining sea. We've had listeners in Canada. We've had listeners in Vietnam. Not to say that we're competing with Joe Rogan or the Kelsey brothers or anything like that, but we're having a blast doing this. It's fun to see the listenership growing, and we got a lot more in 2024. I guess I want to stress that point that we're not going to stop or even slow down in the off season. Again, I think I mentioned at the beginning, at least one, hopefully 2 episodes per week is the goal in the off season. We've already got a number of exciting guests lined up, so stick with us. There's so much more fun to come. And coming into football season in 2024, baby, we're all going to be foaming at the mouth and ready for a CFP appearance for the Huskers by August.
Woo.
Matt and Geoff, anything to add to this Christmas episode?
I just Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you guys. Merry Christmas to the common fans. This has been an absolute thrill. TJ, you said it well. No plans to slow this thing down at all. Off season, it'll be fun. There's not going to be any dull moments. We'll have plenty to talk about. That'll get us all the way into spring ball. We'll have some guests. This is a blast. I'm having a great time doing it with you two guys, and I'm thankful for you. God bless you guys. God bless your families. Merry Christmas, fellas.
Back at you. Same thing. Just I'm honored to be a part of this podcast. It's been a good run so far. 2024 is going to kick ass. I'm really, really excited. TJ will talk about scheduling. I think with the way things are going right now, we might need a 401k plan. We're probably going to need some sort of matching contribution to go along with that.
Wow.
Vacation.
Okay.
So we've got some things to talk about in 2024. So we're ambitious. So thanks for sticking it out with us, listeners. We love it. And we're going to make it to the playoffs sooner than later. I can guarantee that.
I love it, boys. Merry Christmas, Matt. Merry Christmas, Jeffrey. Merry Christmas to your families. Merry Christmas to all common fans. And as always, GBR for life.